Taurus, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions, keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure you take the messages that do and check out your other placements to get a more complete picture. And if you would like a personal reading, you can check out the link on the description below, or you can just send me an email. All right, my friends, let's get started. What is the energy around Taurus for the week ahead? Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Ooh, this is my Storyteller Oracle deck that I made. And I haven't used it in a while for YouTube, but I'm excited to use it today. It always gives really interesting messages. Okay, now let's see what the first card of this story is. That's kind of how this deck works. It's an interesting one. All right, we got all of these messages. Let's see, what's the first card in this story? Thank you. Okay, so first card out is guide. So you're being guided, or you're a guide. Let's get the rest of the story here. Okay, you're being guided through some shadow work, looks like, and seeing impulsive come through in the reverse. So that could be a challenge for you. Solar plex in reverse could be a challenge for you. So confidence is a challenge. Taurus, making a decision, feeling kind of impulsive could be challenging you. There's your heart chakra coming through. Interesting, Aries got those two, but in the opposite. Heart reversed and solar plex upright. Very interesting. So this is affecting your confidence, and it's also sort of bringing up a lot of feelings and emotions. We see entanglement and air energy coming through with the root chakra as well. And something that is there's a truth to this. You need to look at this. So you might be dismissing something, but it's actually true. And you're sort of coming online to a truth here from what I can see. There are no shortcuts here. You're going to have to do the work, and you may have to open up. You may have to be a bit more vulnerable. So let's have a look at this first row. We've got guide, shadow, impulsive, solar plex, and heart. So what that says to me, Taurus, is that you're being guided right now to look at something. It's a bit of shadow work. It's bringing things to the surface that you need to look at. And it's true. Like this is something that is not an illusion. You're sort of coming online to something here. You're stepping into a deeper level of consciousness within. So this is teaching you something about yourself. And it feels like you're getting caught up in something here with maybe an air sign. There may be an air sign in your energetic space, or you may have placements in an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. You might want to check your chart to see where those placements are. But your identity, your sense of belonging and security comes from being an artist. You're a creator. You're an artist. This is your divine feminine energy. So this is you really trusting that your intuition, your imagination is sort of your true identity. So don't hold it back, because I feel like you're being challenged to sort of step into that true essence of yourself. And you might be looking for a shortcut because your confidence has been impacted here by something. And as you start to come online to whatever this truth about yourself is, you're struggling to let go of an older version of yourself, and you're trying to sort of control things. I feel like there is it almost feels to me like you need to open up to this part of yourself that you may have locked away and not felt like you want to show it or share it with anybody. And that part of you is waking up. That part of you is trying to come to the surface. And you may be feeling like, I can't share that because I'm seeing the solar plex in reverse. So your confidence, your power center, you're not feeling empowered to be yourself, to be the true essence of yourself. And it sort of feels to me like what you need the most right now is on the bottom of the deck, compassion. There's an element of compassion here that you're being guided to give yourself, so that you can say, it's okay for me to be my shadow and the light. You know what I mean? I can integrate. I don't have to suppress or hide parts of myself, because I think all that does is make you feel a lack of confidence, and it makes you feel like you can't just be who you are. And I think you're trying to, from what I'm seeing here, you're being guided to bring that integration in and not try to control the expression of you. You don't have to try to control how you express who you are. It's almost like you might be doing that because you think maybe people won't accept it, or you think people might judge you or not be compassionate to you. But, ultimately the things that we are looking for from others are the things that we need to give ourselves. And so if you're looking for acceptance and compassion from the outside world, then that means that's the outside world reflecting back at you, saying, give yourself that acceptance and compassion. Let's see what the tarot cards will reveal for you, Taurus. Let's get your first row out here. Okay. So I'm seeing 5 of Swords, 6 of Wands, 2 of Wands, and 3 of Wands. Okay, so what that says to me is essentially what I was just saying, that whatever acknowledgement or recognition you're looking for from the outside world, you're almost being guided to pursue it for yourself, to give it to yourself, to not worry so much about how people will receive you, or what people will say, and I say it like that because of this 5 of Swords in reverse makes me feel like you have a desire for peace, but you feel like, and that peace is within, like you have a desire for inner peace, but it's almost like you're looking for external validation to say, yes, go for it. Be who you want to be, and express how you want to express. Seeing this 6 of Wands says to me, in this context of this reading, that the pursuit of external validation is actually limiting you. The pursuit of external validation is limiting you, and it's bringing in a time where you need to really surrender and put your mind at rest when it comes to thinking about what are other people thinking of me, and how do other people receive me. And that's the shadow work. That's the shadow that you're dealing with right now. You're working through some shadow work here, and it could be very specific to a certain person, an Aquarius or Gemini or a Libra, that you're seeking validation from, or it could be that it's more generalized. But seeing that air energy comes through makes me feel like that's relevant in this story, and that you may be seeking validation from a certain individual in your life that you feel an immense attachment to, and you're wishing and hoping that they would receive you and recognize you, when really in dynamics like that, that's teaching you to receive and acknowledge yourself, to get that validation from within. And I mean, seeing the root chakra here, you've got root, heart, and solar plex. And solar plex is in reverse. So this is impacting your power, your empowerment, your confidence. And it feels to me like it's a relationship with someone in your life, or your relationship with others, generally speaking, where you're feeling like, hey, how come I'm not being recognized? Hey, how come I'm not being seen as I see myself within? And it might be that you're holding back something. It might be that you're holding back an expression of who you are because you haven't integrated this shadow yet. Very interesting reading, Taurus. Okay, let's clarify that Five of Swords, Six of Wands, and Two of Swords. Isn't that interesting? Look, it's the Five of Swords again. Five of Swords on the Five of Swords. I mean, that is an interesting message to me because it really highlights that there are no winners when we seek to reinforce ourselves from the external world, because it's almost like you've got this dynamic where you're feeling a certain way about yourself, and then the outside world reflects it back to you, and you're looking at it and going, well, how come they see me that way? When really it's how come I see myself that way? Because that's the function of the outside world, is to reflect back at you what your energy is. And so seeing the Five of Swords come up on the Five of Swords tells me that you have this perception that it's a lose-lose situation, that there's no winning here, that no matter what happens, you won't win. And that is becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy, which is, I feel, why we're seeing this Four of Swords, to guide you to put your mind at rest, because if anything, you're being guided to dream bigger and to put your intentions for what you desire out into the world, as opposed to focusing so much on this part of yourself that you don't want to show others, or, you know, you're limiting yourself and you're seeing those limits come back at you. And it's almost like a misunderstanding where you might even be blaming certain people or certain experiences and saying they're doing that. It's projecting. It's almost like you're projecting it outward instead of this inner shadow work that's necessary. It's very interesting reading. Six of Pentacles coming here to clarify the Six of Wands. So who do you most identify with in this picture? Do you feel like you're the one handing out the coins, or are you one of the beggars looking for validation and praise and reinforcement? You might even be feeling a sense of lack of abundance if you resonate with one of these beggars. You might be feeling like you can't have what others have, so you must beg for it, you know, metaphorically beg, in the sense of you're looking for that validation from someone else instead of offering it to yourself, or being the one that offers to others. If you resonate with this guy, the one offering coins, then you might be sitting in the space that says, you know, I give and I give and I give, and I never get anything in return. And I want to get stuff in return. I don't want to just give. I want to actually receive. And so whichever character on that card you resonate with, it's interesting. You're really being guided to look at yourself with a different set of eyes, to look at yourself as integrated, as opposed, to being in pieces, where you hide some parts of yourself and you show other parts, where you're, you know, you share parts of the self that you like, quote unquote, and you hide parts of yourself that you don't like. That is sort of that polarity where we end up having a lot of shadow work to do to integrate parts of ourselves that we've sort of judged as being not good enough or not enough, period. And so seeing that, clarifying the Two of Wands, makes me think that you have to choose which path you're going to take through this. Are you going to take the path of looking for validation from others, or are you going to take the path of giving it to yourself? It's very interesting. Three of Wands. Oh, yeah. Three of Wands is being clarified. Look at that. The Magician and the Ace of Swords in reverse, which tells me that you're holding a big truth in. Again, you're keeping parts of yourself a secret. You're not sharing the true part of yourself, all of it. You know, you're hiding parts of yourself, and then sort of feeling like nobody sees me while you're hiding parts of yourself. It's an interesting thing to consider, right? And seeing it with Magician tells me exactly what we were just saying, that the outer world is a reflection of what's happening within. So if there are parts of you that you're hiding, then you're going to experience that reflected back to you as not necessarily feeling like you're able to see the parts of yourself expressed outwardly get recognized, because you're suppressing some parts of yourself. You're not sitting in your empowerment. You're deciding and choosing which parts of yourself to share and which parts of yourself to hide. And it's almost like you're being guided to just open up and step into your empowerment. We see the Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Being the energy of the Queen of Wands really says to me that you have integrated all the parts of yourself, and you see yourself from a higher perspective that is very creative and very intuitive, and speaks your truth, and has this sense of identity that doesn't get polarized, doesn't get compartmentalized into, I show this part of myself, but I hide this part of myself. I look for validation to understand myself. No, it's almost like the Queen of Wands, she gives herself her own validation. She empowers herself. And I feel like you're being guided to do that as well, Taurus, to really step into a space where you integrate and allow yourself to be both light and shadow, to create a spectrum of who you are and share that essence instead of hiding it away. What a very interesting reading. And seeing that shortcuts card tells me that there might be a part of you that thinks you can sort of do 60% of the work and get 100% of the results. And it's kind of like, that's part of this lesson too, that unless you're willing to sort of peel back the whole package, you're only going to get whatever space you create. So if you only open the package 20%, you're only going to get 20% of what's in there. And you're almost being guided to sort of, I'm seeing like a sardine can, where you can, I remember those from when I was little, that you can twist back the metal as far as you want. Peel the whole thing back. Just open up that big can of stinky fish and let everything out. You know what I mean? That's a funny example coming to mind, but it almost feels like you're like, no, I'm not going to open it up all the way. I'm just going to open it up this much, because at the end of the day, there are no winners. It's like you've decided that, 5 of Swords, you've decided that nobody gets 100% of what they want, ever. And then you're making that true. You're making that true. And I think that's why we're seeing that Magician with the Ace of Swords in reverse, because whatever you hold above, as above, so below. So whatever you hold true will be reflected back to you, Taurus, as a truth. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading, you guys. It's been such an interesting one. I hope it's been helpful. I look forward to reading for you all again soon, and I'm sending you so much love. Take care.